As I flick through the bulging library on my Nintendo Switch trying to decide what to play, it almost seems quaint to think that less than a year ago we were concerned that Nintendo's hybrid console wouldn't have enough games. Now, am I allowed to complain I have too many? But not only has the Switch cultivated a formidable library in terms of size since its launch in March, its quality is extraordinary. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey are two of the finest games ever made. Splatoon 2 and ARMS are very Nintendo takes on traditional multiplayer games, while Ubisoft's quirky Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle is a bafflingly good take on turn-based strategy. And that's just the marquee games. Delve deeper and there is a slew of great indie titles, both new and re-released, to get into. But the latest edition is a selection of ports from Rockstar and Bethesda of more adult-themed games from the last 5 years. Rockstar have released the remastered 40s detective drama LA Noire for Switch, the first time the publisher has been on a Nintendo console since Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wars for the DS in 2009. Bethesda, meanwhile, has released both blisteringly gory shooter Doom and epic RPG The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. All three of these games are fascinating for their intentions as much as their considerable quality. Recent Nintendo consoles have a history of being primarily first-party and family-friendly, with third-party publishers either refusing to commit or falling away as sales don't fire. So, this feels like a testbed for both companies, experimenting with both Switch's technical limitations relative to PS4 and Xbox One, and the scope for an audience on the console for these types of games. While you certainly wouldn't want to understate the work and talent that goes into reworking these titles, comparatively speaking this is a low-risk, potentially high-reward experiment. We look forward to the results in terms of sales, but in for quality the answer is resoundingly positive. LA Noire's intriguing blend of statue-of-the-art motion capture and gumshoe storytelling perhaps hasn't had the wider impact it promised back in 2012, but its case-by-case structure, investigation and interrogation remain one of a kind. It's 1947 and you play as Cole Phelps, a former U.S. Marine returning from Okinawa after the war as he flies up the ranks of the LAPD. From patrol cop to detective, you chase down suspects, engage in firefights and can explore the truncated but brilliantly recreated streets of 40s Los Angeles. LA Noire does show its age in some areas. The shooting isn't exactly top tier and video game writing has come some way since the game's original release. However, the motion scan technology that captures every tiny nuance of an actor's performance is still remarkable even today. How it plays into interrogations as you out for suspects ticks and tells is uniquely fascinating. That goes for the game as a whole as it explores the excess and confusion of post-war America, Phelps adjusting to a more normal life. How LA Noire explores the seedier side is its most interesting aspect as Cole investigates corruption, drug rings and gruesomely violent murders. It's a fascinating, if flawed game, and this Switch version isn't a rush job either. It runs well on the console even if it's so big you will need an extra SD card and takes advantage of some its unique features. Playing LA Noire on the go in handheld mode is tempting enough, but it also brings in motion controls for investigation when playing at home. 4/5 LA Noire Remastered. Where to buy The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. One of the key games appearing in the Switch's initial reveal last year was Skyrim. The idea of playing Bethesda's sprawling RPG on the go was a strong selling point for Nintendo, while also bolstering the idea that third-party publishers were supporting the console. Now, it's here and is just about everything you could hope for in a conversion. While it understandably doesn't look as good as the special edition of the game for PS4 and Xbox One, the northern mountains and villages of Tamriel still feel vast and spectacular on Switch. You can also find some Legend of Zelda-themed gear in Skyrim for Switch. Questing as the Dragonborn on the train has an obvious appeal, but, like LA Noire, Bethesda have put the work in to make use of the Switch's other traits. Swinging the Joy-Cons for motion-controlled melee combat is a lovely touch and suits Skyrim's measured brawling rather well. It's still a great RPG too, with a compelling swords and sorcery narrative plus a sprawling, free-active world to explore. 4/5 Doom. While LA Noire and Skyrim are notable achievements on Switch due to their scope, the ferociously paced shooter Doom is arguably the most impressive. Released just last year, Doom was a powerhouse on PS4 and Xbox One. This Switch version is undoubtedly a technical downgrade, but retains the pace, action, and spirit of the game. Where it is most notably different is in resolution, which can look comparatively blurry on the Switch in both handheld and TV mode. And to get the game running on the less capable hardware, the developer has knocked the frame rate down to 30 FPS from the previous 60, due to the sheer pace of the game. However, this isn't as big an issue as you might think. Doom on the Switch may be a technical downgrade, but it retains the brutal combat kick Doom pelts along on the Switch, with the action still feeling brutally fast and endlessly satisfying. It's as compelling a pure single-player shooter we have had in many years. What is perhaps most surprising and welcome is how well an FPS controls on the Switch in handheld mode. It isn't as naturally suited as other controllers, perhaps, but after a little adjustment I found myself tearing around hell-blasting demons with no problems at all. A great game worth the technical compromise if you wanted to play it on the go, and a promising sign that FPS can find a home on Switch. 4/5